Doubt. It's that quiet voice in the back of your mind whispering, "What if you're not enough?" It's the shadow that follows your every step when you try something new. It questions your worth, mocks your efforts, and magnifies every flaw until the goal ahead feels impossible. But here's the truth. Doubt is not a sign of weakness. It's a test. And if you want to rise, if you want to lead, if you want to build something unshakable, there is only one mindset that will take you from uncertain to unstoppable. I decide who I am. That's the mindset. That's the weapon. Not maybe. Not I'll try. Not if things go well. It's a firm, fiery declaration. I decide. Not doubt. Not fear. Not my past. Not their opinions, me. I decide what I'm capable of. I decide what I become. That mindset doesn't ask permission. It doesn't wait for validation. It moves forward without apology, without hesitation, because when you decide who you are, the war with doubt ends. You see, most people think confidence is something you're born with. It's not. Confidence is built when you face fear and choose to move anyway. It's forged in failure. It's grown in rejection. But the secret is this. You don't need to erase doubt to conquer it. You just need to stop giving it power. Because doubt will always knock. Let it knock. Just don't open the door. Don't entertain the what-ifs, the not-yets, the maybes. When you operate from a mindset of personal decision, you stop waiting for certainty. You stop waiting for signs. You act in the presence of fear, not in the absence of it. And let me tell you, doubt loves delay. The longer you hesitate, the stronger it grows. It feeds on inaction. It multiplies when you pause. That's why the moment you feel it creeping in, you respond with movement, with progress, with fire. The mindset of decision doesn't need everything to be perfect. It just needs you to be present, focused, relentless. You don't conquer doubt by thinking about doing the work. You conquer it by doing the work. That mindset also protects you when critics come. And they will. People will question your choices, your dreams, your voice. They'll project their own fear onto your journey. But when your identity is rooted in your own decision, when your confidence is built from within, no one can take it. Because it's not borrowed, it's built. Doubt might still show up, but it won't stay. It can't stay where conviction lives. And that's what this mindset does. It doesn't just fight doubt, it evicts it. So what does that look like in your daily life? It looks like saying yes to progress even when you're scared. It looks like getting back up after a failure and saying, "This doesn't define me." It looks like facing rejection and still believing, still building, still moving forward. Because doubt may question you, but it can never outwork you. It can't outrun your action. And every step forward becomes proof that it was wrong. Some of you are one decision away from rewriting your entire life. One shift in mindset away from unlocking the courage, the strength, the momentum you've been waiting for. This isn't about waiting until you feel ready. It's about being ready because you've decided to be. Because you've chosen to step into your power, not shrink under pressure. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to decide who you are, what you're made of, and where you're going. That one mindset, I decide who I am, will carry you through storms, through silence, through seasons of doubt and defeat. And every time you act from that place, you take the power back. So today, make the decision. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, decide to believe. Decide to rise. Decide to lead. Decide to act in the face of fear. Let the world throw its doubts, but stand rooted in the mindset that never wavers. Because once you decide who you are, no doubt, no failure, no fear can stop the force you're becoming. You are not here to be paralyzed by doubt. You are here to crush it. And the mindset that will carry you through it all is simple, powerful, and permanent. I decide who I am. Doubt is one of the most silent but destructive forces in the world. It doesn't scream at you, it whispers. It doesn't knock down your door. It slips in quietly through the cracks of your thoughts. It tells you that you're not enough, that you're not ready, that maybe someone else is more qualified, more talented, more deserving. It makes you second-guess the dream you once believed in, the goal you were once excited about, the fire you used to carry so boldly. Doubt is the invisible enemy of progress, and the longer you entertain it, the more it starts to sound like truth. But there's one mindset, just one, that has the power to silence all of it. And it's not complicated. It's this: I decide who I am. This mindset flips the script entirely. Because most people are waiting for external validation. They want signs. They want someone to tell them they're ready. They want a perfect moment, a guarantee, a promise of success. But life doesn't work that way. There is no green light. There is no applause in the beginning. There is only a choice. A moment where you must decide to back yourself, even when no one else does. That's what separates the ones who talk from the ones who take territory. The ones who stay stuck from the ones who rise. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's decision. The decision to believe in yourself when it doesn't feel convenient. The decision to show up when you don't feel like it. The decision to keep building when the results aren't instant. Because that decision, when made with full conviction, shatters doubt. You don't have to wait to feel confident to act. That's the myth. You act, and confidence is built through action. Confidence is not the absence of doubt. It's the result of choosing yourself in the presence of doubt. Most people never move because they're waiting for the fear to go away. They think the most successful people don't feel fear. That's false. The difference is, high performers act anyway. They feel the doubt, but they don't let it steer the wheel. They've trained their minds to say, I don't take orders from fear. I don't shrink under uncertainty. I don't wait for the world to approve me. I approve myself. That is the mindset that conquers doubt. The world will always give you reasons to question your value. People will project their own insecurities onto you. They'll say you're being unrealistic. They'll remind you of your past failures. They'll expect you to stay small because that's what makes them comfortable. But when you've locked into the mindset of I decide who I am, none of that matters. You stop trying to convince people. You stop over-explaining your journey. You stop giving energy to every voice that doesn't believe in you, because you already know where you're headed. You've made the internal decision, and once your inner world is solid, the outer world loses its grip. This mindset creates unstoppable resilience. When things go wrong, and they will, you won't crumble. You won't spiral. You'll recalibrate, not retreat. Because your worth isn't tied to outcomes anymore. It's tied to identity. And identity doesn't shift with success or failure, it's rooted. This is the kind of mindset that will keep you building when no one's watching. That will help you get up after a setback without bitterness. That will give you strength when the results are slow and the path is lonely. Because it's not hype, it's not motivation. It's a decision made deep in your spirit that you are not backing down. Every person who has ever done something legendary had to walk through the fire of doubt. The difference is, they didn't pitch a tent there. They didn't let it stop the mission. They may have heard the voice, but they didn't follow it. They chose to believe that the power to define who they were didn't lie in the hands of the crowd, the critics, or the circumstances. It lived inside them. And that's true for you too. You don't need the perfect plan. You need an unshakable decision. Because when you decide who you are, the doubt has nowhere left to grow. It withers in the presence of identity. So the next time you feel doubt rising, when the voice starts to whisper, when the fear starts to pull, stand your ground. Speak truth over it. Remind yourself, I am not who doubt says I am. I am who I decide to be. That one mindset repeated, practiced, believed will become your armor. It will become your fuel. And in time, it will not only conquer doubt, it will build a life that's proof you never needed permission to become powerful. You just needed to decide. We all face moments when doubt tries to steal our clarity, hijack our momentum, and leave us paralyzed. It doesn't knock on the door loudly. It creeps in during the quiet moments when we're most vulnerable. It shows up when we fail, when we're uncertain, when the world tells us to stay safe instead of stretch beyond our limits. Doubt is subtle, but it's powerful. It convinces people to settle for less, to back down before they even try, to question whether they're worthy of more. But what if I told you that doubt isn't the problem? It's how you respond to it. There is one mindset that changes everything. The mindset that says, I am the author of my belief. Because when you take control of your belief system, doubt loses its grip. You stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself the power to move forward, even when nothing feels certain. The truth is, most people are prisoners of their own thoughts. They hear a doubtful idea once and let it echo in their mind for years. They try something and it doesn't work immediately, so they assume it was never meant to be. They face resistance and think it's a sign to quit. But the people who break barriers and rise above the noise, they don't operate from that space. They don't allow doubt to narrate their story. Instead, they interrupt the doubt with truth. They replace the question, can I really do this, with the affirmation, why not me? They don't wait until they feel ready, they move, and let the feeling of readiness catch up. You need to understand something deep in your soul. Doubt only has the power you give it. And most of us give it too much space in our minds. We feed it by focusing on everything that could go wrong. We feed it by comparing ourselves to others. We feed it by remembering every failure and forgetting every win. But when you lock into the mindset of authorship, the mindset that says, I write the meaning of what this moment means to me, you start showing up with boldness. That's the difference between those who rise and those who retreat. The ones who conquer doubt have trained themselves to think, speak, and act in alignment with who they want to become, not what they currently feel. They know that fear is temporary, but regret is permanent. They know that action kills anxiety and movement shatters hesitation. You don't need to be fearless. That's not the goal. The goal is to become fear-trained. The goal is to recognize doubt when it appears, acknowledge it, but never let it decide for you. The ones who win in life are not those who never feel doubt. They're the ones who refuse to let doubt lead. They feel it, and they still show up. They hear it, and they still move forward. That's the kind of power you build when you own your mindset. You stop relying on external proof and start relying on internal decision. You stop hoping things will change and start becoming the one who changes them. Every great leader, creator, athlete, entrepreneur, visionary, at some point, they all had to battle the inner voice that said, you're not ready. You're not enough. You can't do this. But the difference was they didn't build their future on those lies. They confronted them. They didn't wait for the noise to disappear. They learned to rise above it. And you can do the same. You don't need to silence the doubt completely. You just need to turn up the volume on your faith, your vision, your determination. The more you act in the presence of doubt, the more you build a reputation with yourself. And once you trust yourself, once you've proven to yourself that you can keep going when it's hard, when it's uncertain, when it's uncomfortable, there's no room left for doubt to grow. So the next time doubt rises, don't shrink, don't pause. Don't retreat. Step into it. Walk through it. Confront it with the belief that who you are becoming is stronger than what you are fearing. Own the fact that no one else can define you. No one else gets to tell your story. You are not here to be weighed down by uncertainty. You are here to rise through it. To fight with clarity. To build your identity not on emotion, but on a decision that says, I will not be led by doubt. I will lead with purpose. This is your moment to shift, to stand in the face of everything that says you can't and say boldly, watch me. Because once you master this one mindset, you don't just conquer doubt, you become the kind of person it can't even touch.